Welcome to the Mind Myself podcast. I'm Esther, and it is my pleasure to be bringing you information about healthcare approaches, health issues, and people's health journey stories, all from the complementary, holistic, and integrative perspectives, helping you become your own best health advocate and helping you make your own informed choices because you matter.
Welcome to Mind Myself Conversations with E. I'm Esther. I'm the founder and CEO of Mind Myself, and it is my great pleasure to introduce our guest today, Hilary Samuel, and she's going to be talking about why we have trouble sleeping and what to do about it. Welcome, Hilary.
Thank you so much, Esther. It's great to be here.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your credentials, and how you came into this world of sleep.
Okay. Well, my credentials as a health coach are I'm a national board certified health and wellness coach and a functional medicine certified health coach. And I also have actually 3 master's degrees because I love learning. I just love it. So I have a degree, master's degree in education and in human systems intervention, which is about helping people with group dynamics, and also in eco-psychology. So, and then I have all kinds of tools that come from psychology. I studied Gestalt psychology. I studied cognitive behavioral therapy. I studied NLP and Psyche and all kinds of. I just love learning new things. So I bring that all into what I do. I'm sure there's a few other things there that I haven't mentioned, but they're all part of the mix of what I do. So you asked me how I came to sleep. Well, I just want to mention that before becoming a health, sorry, a fly just went in front of my face, so that's why I'm waving. Before becoming a health coach, I worked in the corporate world. And so I was a trainer and an educator and a coach in the corporate world. So that's where I applied a lot of that training that I acquired. And then I just was ready for something different, decided to shift gears and go into the health coaching world. And I decided to focus on sleep because it's something I had a problem with. And for me, my first bout of insomnia actually came when I lost my way in life. I was studying to be a teacher. And I didn't listen to that little voice in me that, like a high school teacher, that was not me. And I became an educator, but an adult educator. But the first night of my practicum when I was studying, where I was to become a teacher of high school students, I couldn't sleep, and that just started my insomnia, and I couldn't sleep for years after that. So it shifted for me when I suddenly realized that I had unlearned sleep, and I could therefore relearn sleep, and that's when I turned it around. So I taught myself how to get out of insomnia. It wasn't a fast process because I had to figure it out. But I just know from my own experience that you can shift it, and I can understand what it's like to not sleep. I also, have had problems with sleep during times of stress, when I hit menopause. There's other, times, but I never felt that sort of paralysis that I felt the first time. I can't sleep. Like, I didn't feel I can't sleep. I felt, okay, this is happening. How am I going to relearn it? I know I could figure it out. So I did. So there's all these different times where sleep has been an issue, and I figured out how to get out of it. So I packaged that all together. I also studied cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. So that is a whole package of, how to help people with sleep. And I bring all these other tools in as well to my practice.
Wow, if you're having problems with sleep, which you may be if you're watching this, Hilary is your go-to. So Hilary, let's just dive right in. Why are there so many problems with sleep these days? Tell us.
Yes, well, the world has changed from the world that we evolved in. Of course, we all know that. And our modern world really conspire. I'm using the term conspires too in a very sort of general way, but sort of maybe there's a better word. But it makes sleep really hard, So we live in a world that makes sleep hard, and I've got sort of three parts to why that is, to explain it and break it down for people. So one I call disconnect, and that is our disconnection from nature and the rhythms of Earth, where we have evolved. And we are just disconnected from it. That's part of our modern world. We are not part of those rhythms of nature. And I'm going to talk about each of these in a little bit more depth, but that is one of the reasons. There's a whole cluster of things that this disconnection from nature and the rhythms of nature has created problems with sleep. So that's disconnect. Then there's what I call imbalance. And that is our focus, our overwhelming focus on doing, getting, having, and not being, just doing, getting, having. And we just become obsessed with that. And it sets up this very hectic routine for us. It's not just what we do in our own routine, it's how we respond to the world around us, because the world around us is telling us all the time, do, get, have, and we just follow into that, and it just messes with our sleep in a whole lot of ways. And one surprising way that I'll talk about in a little bit that many people are unaware of. And then the third way that this world that we live in really messes with our sleep, I call it struggle. And that is basically fighting with reality. And again, it's our mental reaction to stress. It's pushing through life, making things happen, getting it done. And we do that. We apply that same attitude to sleep. And it's completely the opposite of how sleep works, right? Sleep is about surrender. Do we learn about surrender? Is that one of our qualities? Do we think surrender is a good thing? No, we don't. And so we don't know how to do that. And we don't know how to shift gears and be in this completely different state when it comes to sleep, how to help ourselves mentally and physically shift into this state we need, not just during sleep, but we actually need quite a bit of more of surrender in our lives. But sleep, absolutely, we absolutely have to be in that kind of, we are surrendering when we sleep. We're shutting the lights are off. We're like, okay, I'm out. I'm out until I wake up, and that is surrender, and we're not good at it. So those are kind of the big picture categories under which I look at why we can't sleep and how we can turn it around and understand it and make sleep work for us.
Excellent. Wow. 3 amazing pillars. So in terms of disconnect, imbalance, and struggle, let's unpack those a little bit more and say, okay, so what can we do about that? What are some practical solutions that we can apply to those 3 things?
Yes.
And get ourselves to a new place around sleep.
Right. Okay. So let's just go through these, and I'll start with disconnect from nature. And I'll just start with something that you might think, I know this, but I would say you don't know everything about it. And that is lack of darkness. Okay. So most of us live in cities now. It's not dark outside. In fact, it's really bright. Even the past 5 years, it's gotten brighter because we're getting all these new street lights that are really bright, way too bright for what we need at night. And we have our screens, we're on all the time, and all of this is emitting blue light. And blue light sends a signal to our brains, it's morning, wake up. And so our brains respond by not producing melatonin. So melatonin is a very important, you could call it hormone, antioxidant, and it instructs the brain and the body in all the things that need to happen around sleep. And it's more than sleep. Or sleep is more than you think. It's more than just, a mental thing. Our body is behaving completely different during sleep. And the melatonin is what tells the body to the whole physiology of sleep, including detoxing, Melatonin is what's instructing that. So darkness is a big deal. So I said there's something you probably don't know about darkness, and that is, and I'm not talking to you, Esther, particularly, but to the people watching, that one of the things that our bodies interpret as light and affects our melatonin is electromagnetic frequencies, EMFs. So something like Wi-Fi or your cell phone that's emitting these frequencies, they're not found in nature. Your brain doesn't know what to do with it. It picks it up and it interprets it actually as light. There's actually special cells in our pineal gland in there, in the middle of our brains that interpret those signals as light. So there's light that we can see, and then there's light that we can't see, and that is interfering with the production of melatonin. And in that, so that's really important to be aware of those things. And you probably have heard, so I'll get into some quick fix solutions. Make your bedroom dark. Maybe put on some eye shades, even, as well as making your bedroom dark. Wear blue light blocking glasses, or I put clip-ons because I already wear glasses. Clip-ons, yeah. And wear them at night. So we're not to wear them all day. We do need light, but at the right time. And so this is a very good practice to wear that before, a couple hours before you're going to go to bed, and to turn off your Wi-Fi at night and don't have your cell phone near your bed. Those are really important practices to help you sleep and to stay closer to that context, that environment of nature that we evolved in and we need for sleep.
Excellent. So that's the disconnect. Let's talk about imbalance and struggle in terms of solutions.
Okay, so imbalance. So as I mentioned before, we live in this high-paced, stress-filled world, and we respond to it. So you can think of that high-paced stress as a kind of frequency. There's an energy to it, an energy signature, and we're energy, and we entrain. Meaning entrainment means we start picking up the energy around us. So we start kind of vibrating at the same rate as what's around us. And so, which is why it's so important to do something like go into a forest where the energy is so different. So we pick that up. And what do we do with it? Well, a lot of things we do are below the threshold of consciousness. And one of those things is to do with our breathing. So unconsciously, we're vibrating at that sort of, it might have been a stressor you don't even notice. It's just part of your surroundings. And so it signals, okay, I'm a little stressed. And so our body responds with a certain breathing pattern, which is dysfunctional. And so that breathing pattern is breathing high in our chest, so what's powering the breath is our chest. And we breathe too quickly. We breathe more rapidly than we should. And then we also breathe through our mouth. So that is dysfunctional breathing. And so functional breathing is breathing down from our diaphragm. So down, using that is the muscle that's meant to power the breathing, is our diaphragm. And it does a whole lot of things. There's not enough time to talk about it, but breathing from the diaphragm your whole body changes as a result of that. And breathing more slowly tells your body it's okay. You don't have to be on alert. You can relax. And then also breathing through the nose. The nose is meant for breath, not the mouth. Mouth is for talking. So obviously I'm breathing through my mouth now because I'm talking. But when I'm not talking, I'm paying attention to just, okay, I'm breathing through my nose. Many reasons for that we don't have time for, but those three things are so important to breathing. And when you breathe that way, in this dysfunctional way during sleep, what happens is it interrupts sleep. And when people wake up feeling unrefreshed, like I slept, but I'm still tired, often it's because of the way the person is breathing. And there's a whole continuum of that. The most worst example is sleep apnea. That's terrible, and you can get fixed for that. And if you suspect it, I highly recommend you get checked out. But there's a whole continuum of sleep disordered breathing. So, if you don't have sleep apnea, it doesn't mean that, oh, okay, that's check, I'm okay. No, we can really breathe well, and we can train ourselves. So now I'm shifting into the tip part. So that is simply paying attention during your day. How am I breathing? So over time, you can train yourself to breathe differently. Just check in. And okay, is my mouth open? Am I just sitting in front of my computer with my mouth open? Why is that? I'm probably breathing through my mouth. Close my mouth, breathe through the nose. Put your hand on your belly and notice, okay, is my belly going in and out? Bring it into the diaphragm breathing and slow it down. So you can just check in every once in a while. You could set reminders on your phone, just to a non-stressful reminder, I might say, like something that's that feels pleasant. So you don't go, I gotta breathe well.
Like a bird chirping or a lovely chimey sound that is going, I love this, rather than
Yeah, exactly.
Which brings us to the struggle. What are some things around that? Some tips.
Yeah. So struggle then is, again, as I mentioned, it's our basically unlearning sleep, and I'm just going to focus on the sleep part of it. You go to bed, you feeling anxious, you have got a gazillion things on your mind, and they're just spinning around, and just not stopping. And so what struggle looks like is going, okay, I have to sleep. I only have 6 hours. I got to sleep. And then, a bit later, I'm still not sleeping. And that whole tossing and turning thing. And so it's like a martial art of sleep. Okay. Imagine it like Tai Chi, working with the energy. And where is my energy? My energy isn't in sleep. So stop trying to sleep. It's not going to happen that way. It's much better to you could either just lie in bed and say, okay, I'm just resting. It's fine. But it might be even better to get out of bed and just do something very calming for that period of time. And a person might not want to because, I'm not in bed, I'm not going to sleep. Well, no, you're not going to sleep anyhow. So just work with it, work with the energy, and simply get out of bed and wait until you naturally feel tired again. And then you'll be much more likely to be able to sleep if you do that way. Stop struggling with struggle.
There's so much here.
Yeah.
Hilary, this has been chock full of wisdom. What's one thing you want to leave our listener with today?
What can I say? Just 3 quick things. One,
sure,
it's not your fault. It's not your fault. We live in a world that makes it very hard for sleep. 2, you can totally fix your sleep, and you just need to do it in the right way. And stay with it, not kind of try one thing, discard it, and try something else. You can fix your sleep. And then thirdly, it's worth it because it's so important for your health and your well-being, your happiness, your sense of vibrancy. So those are the 3 things.
Love it. What a perfect way to end. And I love the name of your company too, as you're the founder of Asleep at Last. And with that, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us today, Hilary, and for being a practitioner on Mind Myself. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Esther. It's great to be here.
Thank you for being with us at the Mind Myself podcast today. We know that time is precious and you've spent some of your valuable time with us. We're grateful. If you would like to reach out to our guest directly, the information is below. And if you would like more from Mind Myself, that information is also below. Please visit our website and check out all the information about the different complementary, holistic, and integrative healthcare approaches, information about health issues, more podcasts, tons of blogs, and we even have a community page for you where you could reach out and tell your story safely, or you could ask questions and perhaps somebody else in the world is going through something similar to you. In any case, we're so glad you're with us, and we're doing this because you matter.